Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a much requested video again, an audition that happened on America's Got Talent. And these guys are called Crash Adams, and we're going to be taking a look at two live performances, but also the performance from America's Got Talent, because people have got a lot of questions about it. As always, the links to the original videos are in the description below, but we will jump into this America's Got Talent audition and have a listen. And I'm just going to jump in here because immediately we've got a rhythm guitar, which is just hitting what would be the A string. And we've got another guitar which is picking what sounds like the high E, B and G. So have a listen again. Yeah, so we've definitely got two guitars going on there. So this, I'm going to let it play on. And we've got, with the pitch monitoring software, a pitch corrected or auto-tuned vocal. I will let this play on, but the other thing is, as we work our way through this, there's a drummer on stage, and that's it. So we've just got guitar and drums. But if we're listening to the song, we've got loads of stuff in there. The production is, really full. It's a studio produced track. So anyway, I know that people expect this kind of thing with America's Got Talent, so just so people know, it is a backing track that they're performing to. We haven't got the live instrumentation that we're hearing on stage. And I mean, what I can do is take out the instrumentation so that we're just left with the guitar, the drums and the vocals. So we'll have a listen to that. And you can see all of these vocal phrases are absolutely calibrated to A440 standard pitch equal temperament. It's sunny here in the valley. And this is interesting because for the people that say this is a lip-synced or mimed performance, I think this was actually the vocal that happened on the day, and whether they used auto-tune at the time or whether it's been post-edited is very difficult to say. But we'll look at other live performances to then, come up with a conclusion or try to get an idea of what's going on and when the auto-tune has happened. But the reason that I think this is auto-tune rather than pitch correction is because of the way that the vocal sounds. It's sunny here in the valley. So when he sings, it's sunny here in the valley, valley has turned into vavi because there's so much processing going on. Listen again. It's sunny here in the valley. In the vavi. Because auto-tune doesn't care about words. Its mission is to get the sound on the note, even if it's making what you're singing into something that you now can't understand, but the note was right. So that's the problem. And as we listen through here, I mean, I'm almost inclined to think that it was an auto-tune live thing, because if it was applied afterwards, it wouldn't have affected the sound so badly. It would still sound like valley, not vavi. And we'll listen on. And what I might do is get rid of the guitar and the drums, because I think if I add too much in there, it'll get a copyright block and you won't be able to see this video. But it's rain in the dreams. And here, listen to the way that it's now very difficult to even hear what the singer's saying. But it's rain in the dreams. But it's fun in the dreams. And those dreams at the end there somewhere. So again, the reason this is happening is because auto-tune is snapping the vocal to finite values, and the consonants and vowels, they are kind of secondary. The auto-tune will get rid of those if it means that it's now going to snap it, onto a line, which it undoubtedly is doing, and it sounds weird. And this is why people think this is a mimed or lip-synced performance, because it sounds weird. All of this calibration going on where it's not sounding like a live vocal, because auto-tune is changing the vocal to sound like something that it wasn't. That everybody listening to this, you would not say that this is a natural sounding voice.
Maybe there's something in the water making them feel out of reach. When you're way down in the dark clouds.
I think this is Wake Up, maybe, in terms of what he's saying.
It feels like no one's there with you, you're wrong.
And here, the auto-tune wanted to flip him to the C-sharp 4 just for a split second. And yeah, I don't think, if this was applied after the audition by the production team of America's Got Talent, they would not make this mistake. Well, you'd hope that they wouldn't make this mistake where they're flipping the singer's voice accidentally, because it's the kind of thing that I would pick up on, but I've picked up on it during this performance. I do think this is a live vocal, but people will say, well, is it really live if it's not the voice that we're hearing, it's the auto-tune that we're hearing? Again, that's another discussion, but you can at least hear this flip. So the fact that the vocal is so muffled because of the calibration going on, I think it was probably used live. And the other thing is, this is a competition. So I know people are going to say, well, is it fair that one person can use auto-tune and the judges don't spot this? And that's what I was going to say I'm amazed at, but maybe I'm not amazed that the judges on this panel can't hear auto-tune, that they can't sense A440, because if I'm hearing it, I can, but obviously they don't have a background. I say they don't have a background in music. Simon Cowell is there, but I mean, they don't have a background in analysis or being able to hear. I mean, this is sounding a bit silly that I'm saying that Simon Cowell doesn't have a background in being able to hear something clearly, but that's clearly to me what's going on here, that they can't tell, because they erupt at the end and get a standing ovation. I mean, the crowd really get into it, but they can't appreciate what they're listening to. And I know that in other talent contests, even either the X Factor or something like that, another Simon Cowell contest, somebody was actually called out and say, are you using auto-tune, as if that's not allowed. And there's a big thing about it. But now it seems like, well, they're going back, or maybe they're taking a step back and saying, oh no, now we are allowing auto-tune for particular artists performing live. I don't know how it works.
'Cause I'm feeling all alone. And when the roof caves in and you're stuck in, I'm on it, but the world keeps spinning around. I'll be with you for all the fair. I'd rather be an optimist. And if you lose your hope, I know the feeling where the world keeps counting you out. I never let you fall for it.
I mean, when you kind of get your head around the auto-tune that's happening, you can hear the vocal is more of a live vocal that's just massively edited and calibrated, but you can hear little bits of movement that are going on for where the mic is moving during the live performance. So yeah, it's not a lip-synced or mimed vocal, it's just a really heavily edited one that isn't representative of the actual voice that's going into the microphone, and this is why people obviously think it is not a real vocal.
I'd rather be an optimist. I'd rather be a glass half full type of guy.
So we're going to be getting this the whole way through, and I might just bring in the guitar so that we can get an appreciation of what it would sound like during the live performance, and the drums.
I never let you fall for it. I'd rather be an optimist.
that is the guitar, vocals and drums. So that is what this performance would sound like. So having just the guitar, and I think that guitar solo is live because you can hear a little bit of maybe muted G string going on there while he's playing the solo. You can just hear that ever so slightly ringing out in the background, and you wouldn't have that on a backing track. So yeah, live guitar solo there. But again, let me bring in the rest of the track. So when you bring in the backing track, the guitar is way down there. And I mean, you could argue, would people react to the song like this? Would they react to that in the same way that they react to this? I think the backing track is a huge part of it, but I know that thing, you know, happens on America's Got Talent and, you know, the singing competitions as well. It is a regular thing, but I think some people might think because it looks like a band on stage that somehow they're coming up with all of these other instruments on stage live at the time, but that isn't the case. And you know, again, people will say, well, is it necessarily fair on other acts if something that looks like a band isn't actually the band, but you're hearing a backing track and an auto-tune vocal? That's up for other people to discuss and decide. This is just an objective analysis video. Now, the other thing about this is that this band, Crash Adams, are already signed, and they were already signed. And I think before they went on America's Got Talent, they had 12 million subscribers on YouTube. So they were already doing quite well, but they were signed to, I believe, Warner Music Canada before going on America's Got Talent. So it means that they were already doing it professionally. When I say doing it, they were professional musicians. So this is now a totally different discussion that people are having, where these talent shows, I believe people think that it's for people who aren't professionals but have a passion for something and they really want to become professional at it, so they enter the talent competition. But now we've got professionals who are doing it for a living entering a talent competition for people who want to do it for a living. So I don't know, for me it's all a bit weird. I mean, you could argue, well, what's the point if professionals are now entering talent competitions, but they're already professionals? They already have that as their day job. So yeah, I don't really understand that on any level, but we are going to be jumping into, just to make sense of this particular audition, we are going to be jumping into a couple of other live performances, but we are going to just jump into it and have a listen to what's going on here. Okay, right, so with this live performance, isolated vocal, again, we've got this calibration happening to A440. Yeah, definitely undeniable here. D sharp 4, A sharp 3. So this is now just one of their gigs that they did like last year. This is before America's Got Talent, but like I said, they're already signed. So they've already got a fan base and people, you know, go out to watch them. They're performing gigs. So yeah, so this is, oh, actually, that's a little flip. Na 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 na. It actually just snapped it. What was that? To the F sharp 3. Yeah, so the F sharp 3, it kind of went a little bit flat of that very quickly in a split second. So it sounds like we've got an auto-tune sound at this live performance before America's Got Talent, which would then back up my theory that it was auto-tune that was being applied during the performance, therefore why the vocals sound so weird and you lose all, you know, the majority of the words. I mean, it's very much that Maroon 5 auto-tune sound that it might be what they're going for. And that might be just what their sound is based on, that kind of auto-tune being applied to the voice. What I might do is jump into the other live performance that we've got, which is here, and okay, right now here we've got two voices going on, and you might be able to see in the background, this is definitely another live performance. It isn't the one that we've just looked at. If I bring in the one that we just looked at, we've got a vest here. We've got different clothes. It's very obviously yellow trousers going on here. But let's listen. Yes. Now here we've got a live vocal, undoubtedly, but we've got another vocal that's happening presumably on a backing track, and at the moment the lead vocal is very up front. Yeah, this kind of thing here, feel out of reach. It kind of starts between notes here, comes down onto the G3 and then goes flat. And here now we've got this calibration, so it's interesting because this is all at the same level as the lead vocal. I might just jump into this in a little bit more detail and bring up the backing so we can hear it in context. Yeah, okay, so for this head voice sound, listen to how removed the vocal now sounds. I'll take it back a bit. So this is na 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 na. It's very up front. And if you can listen in carefully, you can hear the two vocals that are happening. Let's just listen again. So yeah, so here this na 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 na, that's on the backing track because it's a little bit removed. And now here, I mean, if you're listening carefully, you can make out the two voices going on. The one that's live and then the one on the backing track. Because here, when it feels like there's no one there for you. And then he kind of gets into his chest voice and you hear the live mic. And it feels like no one. So he kind of comes in a little bit there. There with you, and now he's fully there in his chest voice, and now on the live mic rather than being quieter for the higher parts which are on the backing track. And even there, the been here all alone, it kind of goes back into the backing track a little bit there. And this is all calibrated, so I don't think we're really hearing too much of a live vocal here. Oh, there you go. I'm going to move that off to the side. And let's just have a look at that again. So, yeah. The vocal didn't change there at any point. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what people think when they're watching that, because he clearly didn't sing that, but that was the same voice that's been going for the whole chorus. So yeah, he's clearly not trying to kind of hide that he's not singing the chorus of it, but we'll listen on. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're standing up tall, and now live vocal comes in again for the verse, for that na 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 na. The D4, and going down to the A sharp 3 again. Slightly between notes here, and a little bit flat of the A sharp 3 there, but definitely live now. And again, yeah, between notes here. Okay, and we actually had more of a prominent lead vocal there. I might get rid of the backing, have a listen. You might be able to hear the two voices now. The one that goes, nah, and the other vocal where it sounded like, I don't know whether we got that on the pitch monitoring software. Wake up! And it kind of comes down a little bit flat to F sharp 4 here. So, I mean, what we can take from this is that, and again, I'm not having a go at Crash Adams here. I'm just pointing out what's going on in the America's Got Talent audition and in a couple of live performances that I've been sent. And it might be the case that they just heavily rely on backing tracks for live performances. And like here, you can see that he doesn't even sing when the voice is clearly what would be a lead vocal. So it might just be something that the fan base, don't mind, that they're not actually singing or playing everything live, but it's just more about the songs and getting to go to a show to kind of dance along. But with the vocals, again, I'm not saying that he can't sing. I'm sure that he can sing, and he has a great voice. But I'm just pointing out what is happening, during the live shows, and also, the auto-tune live, the backing tracks, and the things that have happened in the America's Got Talent audition. The good thing is that the live performances from 2024, they help to back up the theory, or at least give credence to the theory of auto-tune being used live on America's Got Talent rather than it being something that they did totally live and without any calibration or tuning, and then all of a sudden their vocals have been tuned, which is something that they might not be happy about. But we can see that during the live performances, because they were calibrated last year, then if they're going to go on America's Got Talent, they're going to do the same thing that they do live. Anyway, thank you guys for all of the requests to take a look at this particular audition and the live performances. Keep those suggestions and requests coming to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rock!